Okay, we are going to talk about the New Zealand shooting, if I may. Um, there were two mosques that were shot up in a town called Christchurch, ironically, and it was a white supremacist terrorist. Now, I'm not going to condone terrorism, period. I don't care if it's a white terrorist killing Muslims, I don't care if it's a Jewish terrorist killing Hindus. Okay, I'm never going to condone terrorism or mass murder in any fashion. I'm just not. I know a lot of guys are saying, well, how many fucking people do Muslims kill? How many Muslim terrorists are there in the world? And you know what? That's right. There's a lot of Muslim terrorism in the world. There is. I can't lie about that. But John Walsh from America's Most Wanted said almost immediately after September 11th, people were targeting mosques, people were graffitiing mosques, people were attacking Muslims. Not a lot, but there were a couple of people doing that. And John Walsh said that makes you a terrorist. And he's right. If you engage in violence against unarmed people, that is terrorism, that is murder, that is wrong. And we should not be celebrating it. We should not be condoning it. We should be condemning it. Okay, in the same breath, we always tell the Muslims, why don't you condemn radical terrorism? If you're a peaceful Muslim like you say you are, how come you don't condemn jihad? Likewise, if you're a peaceful white person, you should condemn white supremacy. That's true. Now, the individual responsible, his justification for it is he went to Europe and he saw the Muslim invasion in Europe, which is all the refugees. Some are legitimate refugees, some are fake refugees coming into Europe, and they're changing Europe entirely culturally, every which way. Okay, a couple of years ago, there were terrorist attacks in Europe every couple of weeks. And there are also things that don't make the news in other countries, such as the number of assaults, the number of rapes, the number of. Okay. And it is true that Europe has a very, very serious problem with Muslim migrants that are incapable of adapting to their new cultures. And this individual went to Europe, saw that, and when he came home, he rationalized that it was justification to shoot a couple of mosques. And there were two mosques that were within 3 miles of each other. He put on a helmet camera, live streamed to Facebook, went to one mosque, got out, shot it up, went to another mosque, shot it up, and was arrested by the police. Now, I don't know exactly how they got him. The cop went this way, the cop went that way, the cop pulled the gun this way, the cop. I don't know the exact circumstances of his arrest, and I'm trying to look it up, but I can't. Now, he killed 50 people, with I think at least 50 more in the hospital. And there were witnesses saying there were people being running across the lawn being shot at. Okay, just absolute fucking carnage. And New Zealand does not have the Second Amendment. Now, there's a gentleman, I'm going to post a link down below to one of his videos, Kiwi Ted Fernie. Kiwi Ted Fernie, Kiwi is a New Zealand guy. Many, many years ago, when I only owned one gun, I actually told Kiwi Ted Fernie that I was jealous of his gun collection. He has every category of gun license you can legally get in New Zealand. He had everything, even had machine guns. And he explains the categories of license. Now, he can have machine guns, but he can't have ammunition for the machine guns. And it's basically the license he has to have to get these machine guns is like military surplus license, museum quality curated. Okay, he has to be like a major collector. He has to pay a lot of money for the license, do a lot of paperwork, alarm system, insurance, a little bullshit. Okay, and then he basically has a museum in his house. Okay, it would almost rival Dragon Man here in America. And he told me one time, he said, Vinny, I have them, you can use them. And he gave me an example of this is him talking to me personally. He could literally see someone raping his wife, and if he shoots them, he goes to jail. I may only have one gun, which I had one gun at the time, the Glock, but at least God forbid I can use it. Okay? He said in New Zealand, there was no justifiable homicide, period. Okay? So you could have literally looked out your window, saw the mosque shooting, pulled out your gun, shot this killer, and gone to jail yourself. Oops. And Ted Fernie took down a whole bunch of videos one time, and then he put up a couple more videos where he was wearing these goofy fucking masks, like, okay? And he explained that someone had reported him to the police, and the police ordered him to take the videos down because they were deathly afraid of what if someone breaks into your house, takes your guns away, and steals them, whatever the fuck. Okay? So imagine if you're, Pete from the Armory Channel, or Eric from Iraq Veteran, or Tim from Military Arms Channel, and the police call you and tell you to take your videos down because they're afraid someone's going to break into your house and take your guns. Someone's going to find out what hometown you live in and track you down and take your fucking guns and steal them, okay? So, and Kiwi Ted Fernie said to me one time, they can legally take his guns tomorrow. No court, no warrant. They can just come in and say, give us the fucking guns. And New Zealanders were giving up their guns voluntarily recently. And there are new gun laws being passed in New Zealand, which I'm going to look into when they are officially passed. I heard the day was April 11th. There's going to be the parliamentary meeting, and they're going to ban the guns then. I'll look into it. I'll get back to you with a video then. Okay? But the killer had a manifesto. And the news here in America, which prefers to analyze shit, was examining parts of his manifesto, not to glorify him, but to offer insight into his psyche. And this individual said in his manifesto that he doesn't like the United States. And he said he was hoping that the left wing in the United States would go crazy and try to take our rights away. And the right wing in the United States will go crazy and try to preserve those rights. He also said that his favorite government system is China. Last time I checked, China was a communist country. And last time I checked, China did not allow guns, period, except for the police. You cannot get a gun in China, period. There is no 22 caliber this, or you can't have a gun in China, period, unless you are a police officer with your police issued gun. Also, China banned guns many years ago, and when they did, the government, most famously under Mao Zedong, but the government of China killed more people than Hitler. And if you've read Gun Control in the Third Reich by Holbrook, you will understand that Hitler only allowed his loyalists to have guns. Every gun in Germany required a license, with permission, reasons. Okay, the guns could be confiscated the minute Hitler was displeased with you. Jews were not allowed to own guns. Okay, so yeah, a little off track there, but the song of terrorist regimes, Nazis, okay, communists, okay, their song is to pretty much take the guns first and kill everyone else later. And they've banned guns in Venezuela. And that motherfucker is I mean, ugh, horrible. But this guy, he likes China, the government of China, which literally killed more people than Hitler. So maybe his goal was to make people panic and make governments take rights away. And in addition to New Zealand saying our gun laws will change, they also reminded us at the press conference, and I'll put a link to the press conference below if you want to watch it. It's about 15 minutes long. They talk about we have laws about hate speech. Well, here's the problem with that. I'm the first person to say hate speech is wrong. But I also understand, I learned this in law class. I had to take a couple of constitutional law classes. And I learned that banning the speech doesn't stop the speech, it drives the speech underground. The speech will still be there, but they will be resorting to illegal means to speak it. Also, hate speech could be interpreted depending on what government is in charge. Example, past couple years, hate speech was singing the national anthem. Okay, we had government officials in power not too long ago who told us that, NRA members are terrorists. Okay, they're suppressing speech even now. Okay, there were FFLs in California who were forbidden from advertising guns on posters. There was a baker in Colorado who is uncomfortable with gay marriage and was labeled a bigot because he told a gay couple that he would bake them any cake they wanted except a gay wedding cake. Okay. I have a friend from high school who actually she called out the gay wedding cake baker in Colorado on every occasion you could think of online about how hard it is to do that and how mean you gotta be and it's so hateful to not bake a gay wedding cake and they're people too and all the bullshit. Yet she hates gun owners personally. She circulated a petition to ban gun shows from public buildings. She called for boycotts on companies that offer NRA discounts. And that was when I got my neck knife from CRKT. Because I bought it on Amazon and had it shipped by FedEx to spite her. I did it to spite her, by the way. Okay? She calls for insurance on gun owners, knowing we will afford a gun. Okay? So, New Zealand has laws about suppressing speech. True. And see, that's what it does when you suppress speech. That's a problem. Okay, I don't like the Ku Klux Klan. I don't like the Black Panthers. I don't like the skinheads. Okay, I don't like Black Lives Matter. I don't like Planned Parenthood. I don't like that Baptist church that was fucking calling for dead soldiers. Okay, I don't like Bill Maher. Okay, I don't like these people. But I understand that the law that protects them also protects me. And you see this in Britain, in other parts of Europe. Okay, they have laws against hate speech. And what they ended up doing was they ended up putting people in prison for felony convictions if they spoke against radical Islam. Okay? So, and I hate to revert back to that old saying after 2000 that otherwise the terrorists win. Okay? We said that a lot in America after 9/11. We said, if we don't do this, the terrorists win. Well, I will tell you this right now, my friends. Okay? If you pass laws banning speech, the terrorists win. Because the goal of terrorism, whether it's white terrorism, black terrorism, Muslim terrorism, Jewish terrorism, okay, Amish terrorism, all right, the point of terrorism is to take your rights away. Okay? The terrorists don't like you, and they don't like your way of life. And whether they're killing people because of their religion, whether they're killing people that work for the government, whether they're killing people because they're in the fucking wrong place at the wrong time, okay? They want to make you afraid. They want to take your rights away. So if you live in fear, and if your government takes away your rights, the terrorists have won. So that made me very, very scared about these hate speech laws. And maybe if you got a guy walking around with a fucking noose saying, hang the Jews, okay, yeah, maybe. That's bad. But what if a guy says, I don't like radical Islam? Should he go to jail for saying that? The law can be loosely interpreted by the guy in power. And that is the truth. That is the truth. Okay, I've been called a racist. I've been called a homophobe. See, I've been called a racist even though I serve a black and Hispanic community. I've been called a homophobe even though I have gay fan members. I've been called a xenophobe even though I am the great grandson of immigrants. I've been called a sexist even though I've done more for women's rights than any feminist in all of history combined, which is the truth. Well, actually, a pile of dog shit has done more for women's rights than feminists have. Let's be realistic about that shit. Okay, so what if someone in power interpreted that my speech, I've been called a fucking anti-Semite even though I fucking support Israel. The fucking president is the only president since 1946 to recognize Israel, Jerusalem, as the capital of Israel. He's called an anti-Semite. Okay? And he's called an anti-Semite by people calling for the Jews to be killed. Okay? So what if someone in power decided that my speech was hate speech? Like if I say I want legal immigrants, okay, and someone in power says that's xenophobic. There are people that cannot tell the difference between an immigrant and an invader. And what if they have the power? And what if hate speech is outlawed? Okay? Now, his license, the guy that committed this terrorist attack, his license was what they call Cat A. Now, there was a gun dealer in New Zealand called Gun City. They're a major retail gun store. They have several locations. They're kind of like their version of Cabela's or some shit like that, right? Or Bass Pro Shops. And they had a couple of videos, and they took them down after this incident. And I know because I checked about what a Cat A is, what a Cat B is. Cat A is for rifles, primarily semi-autos. Now, you can have an AR-15 in New Zealand, but your AR-15 has to have a thermal stock. Yes. In America, a thermal stock is an assault weapon. In New Zealand, lack of a thermal stock is an assault weapon. You can't have a bayonet lock. You can't have more than 7 rounds in the magazine. The average AR-15 mag is 5 rounds. And that is an AR-15 in New Zealand. Semi-automatics cannot have more than 7 rounds. Rifles and shotguns. Okay, but you can buy pumps, levers, a little bullshit. Up to 10 rounds, I think. Cat B is handguns. Handguns have to be a certain size. Okay, you're not allowed to conceal them and shit like that. And then Cat C is the museum quality shit that Kiwi Ted Fernie has. This guy had no criminal record, and he had a Cat A license. And he had an AR-15. But according to their laws, his AR-15 mags could be, 7 rounds at most? Average is 5 rounds. Okay? So it wasn't like he had a fucking machine gun. And they're gonna change their fucking gun laws. And as I've said before, there is no right there. You can have them taken away from you. And they say the government is gonna buy them back. Buy back. No matter whether you live in America or New Zealand, okay? When you sell your gun back to the government, the money the government gives you is your tax money. So you're surrendering your gun to your government, and your government is giving you your tax money back. That's about it. And it's a mandatory sellback. Because if you don't do it, they'll arrest you. That's called robbery. You will give me this or I will kidnap you. That's robbery. That's robbery. Okay, you will do this or that. And I had another friend from high school. This guy's a real fucking charmer. Okay, not a fan of cops. Hates Jews. Okay, supported Palestine. Supported fucking Hamas when they had the fucking last conflict over in Israel. He posted an article. I don't even have these fucking friends. He posted an article about, he was quoting. He posted an article that showed someone's comment, the big bubble comment. They didn't try thoughts and prayers, they surrendered their guns. He's like, well, they're surrendering, they're banning assault weapons in New Zealand. But we don't do it here. I'm like, okay. We banned assault weapons in America on May 19th, 1986. Okay? What is an assault weapon? An assault weapon is a machine gun. That is the definition of a fucking assault weapon. We banned them on May 19th, 1986. So unless you live in a certain state, and unless you have, $20,000 cash on hand, you're not getting an assault weapon. Here's another aspect about assault weapons in America. When you pay $20,000 for your machine gun in America, what if the parts break? You gotta go to the ATF to get more parts. Am I right? I mean, if you had an M16 in America, and a certain part broke, like the sear, the auto sear, you would most likely need to run that by the ATF where you got a new auto sear, because the ATF want to make sure you're not making another machine gun. Am I right? And I said, well, we banned machine guns, we banned the assault weapons, you fucking dumbass. And I said, you know what? I'm not giving up my shit. I'll tell you that right now. Because here's the issue. I'm not going to take off my seat. I told my friend this. I'm not going to take off my seatbelt to prevent someone else from drunk driving. I'm not gonna unlock my door to prevent someone from breaking in. Okay? I'm not gonna turn off my smoke alarm to prevent the fire. And I'm not giving up my weapons. My guns, my knives, none of that shit. I'm not giving it up. Because if you fucking think that you giving up your weapon is gonna prevent someone else from killing you, you got nothing coming to you, my friends. Okay? I don't know about you, but the more I see this shit, the more I want to buy more guns. The more I want to buy more ammo. Okay? And unless I'm getting on a plane, I have a weapon on me. It might be a gun. It might be a knife. I have some sort of weapon on my person when I leave the home. Okay? Unless I'm getting on a plane where weapons are forbidden. Okay? Because if I'm going on a plane, I'll go fucking jail. But unless I am getting on a plane, if you see me outside, I have something on me. It could be a knife, it could be whatever it is, but it's on me. Okay? I don't give a fuck if it's a folding knife. I don't give a fuck if it's an impact tool. Okay? Even my steel-toe boots that I use for work are weapons. Okay? My keys are weapons. Okay? There's always a weapon. The chair is a weapon. Okay? The table's a weapon. The door's a weapon, okay? Your shoe's a weapon. Okay? Find the weapon. Okay? Take martial arts classes and become a weapon. Okay? But one way or another, make sure that a weapon is available to you. Okay? If you're playing pool in a pool hall, the pool stick is the weapon. Okay? If you're at dinner and you're sitting down at a restaurant, the knife is the weapon. The chair is the weapon. The bottle is the weapon. Okay? There's always a weapon. There were guys in England, last terrorist attack in England. Okay? One guy hit the terrorist with a milk crate. One guy got up and boxed the terrorist and covered everyone else. Okay? Yeah, a guy got up and fucking boxed. Okay? Make sure there is a weapon. Okay? Improvise a weapon. Okay? Crowbar, tire iron. Okay? I'm not advocating for you guys to be going out killing people, but when someone comes to kill you, what's available to you? And you know what? No weapon is useless. Okay? People say tennis rackets are useless weapons. Well, you know what? I'd rather have a tennis racket than nothing. Okay? I'd rather have a golf club than nothing. Okay? Find the weapon. Pepper spray, taser. And by the way, tasers are now legal in New York State. Okay? Because this is happening, my friends. This is reality. Okay? Whether it's a white terrorist, a black terrorist, a Muslim terrorist, a Christian terrorist, a Jewish terrorist, a Hindu terrorist, a gay terrorist. Okay? This is happening. This is the world we live in now. There's an old saying. Today, someone trained to kill you. What were you doing? Thank you.